Mr. Allen, you have to mute for Pledge of Allegiance.
We need to have Ben unmuted for the roll call first.
Done.
I didn't hear from Pat yet.
We're going to have to unmute to do the roll call.
Ready? Okay, it's now 7:07. I'll call the August 24th regular meeting of the Jersey Shore School Board to order. We have a roll call, please, Mr. Ender.
Board members, please note that you're muted, so as I call your name, please unmute yourself. Mr. Becker.
Here.
Mr. Berngard.
Here. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on. Thank you.
Okay.
Miss Dobler.
Here.
Mrs. Grant.
Here.
Mr. Kinley.
Here.
Mrs. Petrosky.
Here.
Mrs. Stemler.
Here.
Mrs. Thomas.
Here.
Mr. Allen.
Here.
All 9 members present.
Okay, at this time, we'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item we have is the treasurer's report. We have the July investment report and the July treasurer's report. Any questions, comments, or corrections? I'm sorry, we have a motion to approve, please.
Motion. I'll make a motion.
I've got Wayne and Harry. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, hearing none, could we have a roll call, Mr. Enders?
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Mr. Berngard.
Yes.
Ms. Dobler. Ms. Dobler, you are muted.
Sorry about that. Yes.
Mrs. Grant.
Yes.
Mr. Kinley.
Yes.
Mrs. Petrosky.
Yes.
Mrs. Stemler.
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, next we have approval of bills, the amount of $3,927,036.74. We have a motion to approve.
So move, Mary.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or corrections? Hearing none, can we have a roll call, Mr. Enders?
Mr. Becker,
Yes.
Mr. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Dobler,
Yes.
Mrs. Grant,
Yes.
Mr. Kinley,
Yes.
Mrs. Petrowski,
Yes.
Mrs. Stemler,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes. And I don't see anything under presentations. Communications, please? Dr. Elmo, do we have any communications?
Sorry, I was muted. I have none for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. President's report. The first thing I'd like to do is just apologize officially to Mrs. Beerley for her phone call last week. I should have handled that better. I think it was a matter that it was a topic that was really too early to respond to with any accuracy. But I should have at least thanked you for your call. So if you were listening, I apologize for that oversight, and we'll try to do better next time. Intermediate unit report.
Well, we just, they just reported how difficult things have been with trying to get school started in all the different districts that they have to deal with, since they're with all school districts and the whole IU. But they did say the school districts have been amazing partners, and we're all in this together, so hopefully everything works out.
Yeah, we kind of forget about all the struggles that they have to put up with supporting all the rest of the district. So thank them for everything they're doing.
Okay, thanks.
Superintendent's report.
I'm going to start my report this evening with a statement that I did release last Friday to the media. I know it was not printed in any press in its entirety, but I want the board and the community to hear it from me. The statement reads, "We understand that the Jersey Shore Area School District and certain of its employees have been sued by a family of a former student. The allegations are tied to claims of inappropriate contact between the student and an adult female, Alexandria Kolesny. Ms. Kolesny was a student teacher at the district for a brief period of time prior to the onset of the claimed misconduct that is subject of the suit. That alleged misconduct occurred after Ms. Kolesny's brief affiliation with the district had ended. Contrary to the implications in the complaint, the district had no knowledge of any inappropriate behaviors while Ms. Kolesny was present on its campuses. The district does not condone any misconduct of the type alleged and actively takes a role in preventing its occurrence. It denies any contention that it was somehow responsible for the illicit behavior that is claimed to have occurred. The district will vigorously defend itself and its employees other than Ms. Kolesny." I do want to say that I want to thank our district team, our administrators, the board, the teaching staff, the support staff. We had our first day with all staff back on site today. We do have another full day of professional development tomorrow before students return on Thursday. Things are moving pretty quickly now, but as I said in my message to all staff this morning, we're being flexible. We're doing everything we can to get schools opened and get everybody back in. I do have the updated survey results from the last round of surveys, which Again, those closed on Wednesday. So your principals and your administrators worked quickly to get things like bus cards, schedules, parent communications out in a matter of 48 hours on Thursday and Friday. So I want to thank them for their hard work and the work that their teams did. We are going to have approximately 76% of our students back full time, 5 days a week, starting on Thursday. About 10% of our students and their families have selected the hybrid option, and you're at about 14% of our student population who elected to be virtual for the first marking period. I can tell you that our team is working rather quickly and feverishly to get all those virtual students set up. Technology staff has been able to meet with families individually and get them their technology. It's been pretty frantic over the last few days, but we're doing everything we can to be ready for everybody to be back here on Thursday. And there are items in my report that are the standard once a month reports that you normally get, but the field trip and vandalism report, even though they're there, are blank. I also have for your review attached to the agenda 5 new policies that need to be updated. We're back in the 100s again. These have very few and minor changes, but again, these are things that PSBA is suggesting be changed since those policies were last updated, which was quite a while ago. Just like we have done in the past, I gave them all to you with this agenda. Please let me know if you have any feedback on them before we do a first read, and we can make some adjustments. Thank you.
Dr. Omar, I did have a question about that. So can I ask that now on one of the policies, or should I wait and just contact you?
You could ask it now, or you could send me an email and I'll answer it and potentially make any updates that need to be updated before you first read it.
Okay, I'll just send you an email.
Okay.
And if anybody does send Dr. Ulmer an email on the policy specifically, if you could copy other board members as well. So if you already mentioned something, he's not going to get 9 of the sessions. That would be helpful.
Okay.
Hello?
Dr. Ulmer, I have a question.
Okay.
If somebody goes online, you're sure online, it's through the IU, as I said before, we're talking to one of the other board members previously. That costs the district X amount of dollars. Now, if that student decides to come back after 3-4 weeks, or maybe after November, if sees that everything is going well, we still have to pay for a full semester, whether that student stays the whole semester or comes back. How does that work?
High school and middle school courses are segmented by marking period, and elementary courses are segmented by semester. So you would only be obligated for a marking period of a student in grades 6 through 12 if they came back, which is one of the reasons why we ask parents to commit for a marking period, because you're paying for a marking period once they are enrolled. There is a grace period, but it's pretty quick.
Okay, so you're paying for the marking period. All right. All right, thank you.
And how did you say the elementaries were working?
Elementary segmented by semester, because the elementary curriculum is a different vendor and they are broken down by semester.
Dr. Ulmer, could you explain to the parents how to log on to the virtual open house? I think there's some confusion how to do that. So
the teachers are creating links to a team session similar to what you're seeing at the board meeting right now. And our technology department has explained to teachers how to create those links. Those links will be housed on the building pages. So if your child attends Avis Elementary and you go to Avis Elementary's website for the open house time period, you will see the teacher's name that you can click on and go to that session and meet that teacher. There will also be videos that teachers have created during their professional development days that parents will be able to one, go into the team session and talk to the teacher, but also have the ability to watch a video that the teachers have created, introducing themselves and talking about their classroom.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for the superintendent? Okay, we'll move on to public comment. And as we've done throughout the period with public comment, we'll be merging the first and last public comment sessions together. And we've been doing that since we started meeting virtually.
I have received no calls for us to call anyone for tonight, but I will put out there the number to call in is 570-398-5576. Again, 570-398-5576.
Okay, and unless other board members have a different idea, I'd suggest we leave it open for 5 minutes to receive our first phone call, and if we don't receive one within 5 minutes, we'll move on with the remainder of the agenda. Any objection to that? Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me? Jersey Shore School District Board meeting, public comment. Can you state your name, please? Hello? Hello, caller. Is there a caller on the line?
Yes, hello?
Yes, the Jersey Shore School Board is public comment. Can you please state your name and your area?
My name is Hillary Van Fleet, and my child goes to Jersey Shore Elementary School.
Your address, please, ma'am?
Your address? Can you please state your address?
Just
My
street and
address
city
is
is fine.
332 Front Street, Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania, 17740.
Thank you.
Okay, you're set.
Go ahead, caller. The board can hear you.
Go ahead, you are all set.
Okay, I had a question. Because of the recent restrictions with mask wearing and the cafeteria situation, recess situation, it's nothing like what it was before. So I chose to do homeschool, and I had emailed about that and was given an email back with the forms. And when I was going through the forms, it said that they had to be turned in by August 1st to the superintendent. And I was wondering if, because of these recent changes, they would extend that so that I could get that in and homeschool my child.
That August 1st date is in school code, but please send those forms to me and we will make that happen.
Okay, I was just making sure and wondering if I'd be able to homeschool her and how to make that happen. So
I think we're good. Please contact my office and we'll take care of it.
all right, thank you. Bye.
Have a good night.
Okay, would anybody on the board like to move that we close courtesy for? Or hold on a few more minutes?
So moved, Mary.
I'll second.
Thank you. Probably don't need any questions or comments on that, but why don't we just, for the record, do a roll call, please, Mr. Enders?
Mr. Becker,
Here.
Mr. Berngard,
Yes.
Ms. Dobler,
Yes.
Mrs. Grant,
Yes.
Mr. Kinley,
Yes.
Mrs. Petrosky,
Yes.
Mrs. Stemler, Mrs. Stemler, you are muted.
Yeah.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, so courtesy of the floor, public comment is closed. We'll move on to personnel. We do have one addendum for this evening. Could I have a motion to add item M under personnel, which is the appointment of Tyler Henry as the head cross-country coach at a salary level 1, $3,360, effective the 2021 season.
So moved, Mary.
Second.
Mr. Allen, are you going to remove one of those items before you make that motion?
I can remove that without a motion or anything, but we need to have a motion to add one on. And who seconded that, Mr. Enders? Do you have somebody?
And Mr. Kinley.
Okay. So any questions or comments regarding adding this item to the agenda?
Little guy out back.
Okay. Hearing none, roll call, please, Mr. Enders.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Berngard?
Yes.
Ms. Dobler?
Yes.
Mrs. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Kinley?
Yes.
Mrs. Petrosky?
Yes.
Mrs. Stemler? Mrs. Stemler, you're muted.
I'm unmuting. Hang on. I was going to say yes, but you wouldn't have heard me. Yes.
Give us a thumbs up.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, so that is added item M. Consistent with our past practice of the head coach of any sport making selections for his assistants, I'll just be removing item E, which was a gentleman, who was our former head coach that had volunteered to be a volunteer track and field coach, and leave that up to the new head coach if Mr. Henry is so hired. So we'll remove item E.
E or F?
E.
E.
E, okay.
Okay, and at this point, looking for a motion to approve personnel A through D and F through M.
So moved, Mary.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second. I'll
Second.
second.
Okay, Mr. Becker. Very good. Any questions or comments regarding any of the items on this on personnel? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Enders, could you have a roll call, please?
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Berngard?
Yes.
Ms. Dobler?
Yes.
Ms. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Kinley?
Yes.
Mrs. Petrosky?
Yes.
Mrs. Stemler?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
9-0.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I don't see anything under curriculum instruction. Building and grounds, the items A and B. Could I have a motion to approve building and grounds?
So moved, Mary.
Second?
Second. Wait.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions or comments on those two items? Okay, hearing none. I have a question, Mr. Enders. The freezer that's over there now, is there a reason that we couldn't repair that?
Yeah, the freezer is original to the building, and parts could no longer be obtained to repair it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Here none, can we have a roll call, please, Mr. Enders?
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Berngard?
Yes.
Ms. Dobler?
Yes.
Mrs. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Kinley,
Yes.
Mrs. Petrowski,
Yes.
Mrs. Stemler,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, I don't see anything under finance. Can we move to miscellaneous? And we have items A through L, I think. Whoops, let me check. Make sure it doesn't go over on another page. Yeah, A through L.
So moved, Mary.
Second.
Any questions or comments on any of those items on A through L?
I just have a question on L and J, the all things bright and beautiful, and the other one there, is there, I didn't look at the contract rate. Is there anything that's changed from previous years? I assume everything is the same.
Yes, there's, according to Dr. Dady, they're the same.
Okay, and then the truck quote, I don't have the agenda in front of me, the truck quotes, is that part of the miscellaneous? No. Okay, I had a question on that, but maybe I'll save that for old business.
That's not on the agenda at all, is it?
No.
No.
Any other questions on the miscellaneous agenda?
I had a question on the pre-K counts. Is that a grant that those funds come through then?
Correct.
Yeah,
That's a grant.
okay. So have we ever looked into maybe having our own pre-K program or not?
Hold on. Dr.
Okay.
Dayton's coming around.
This grant came out a really long time ago, and actually I believe Laura Millark and Dr. Chappelle were the ones to initially work with this grant. I can tell you the reasoning at the time, and Craig, I think you were on maybe at the time, but part of it was they didn't want to compete with local child cares, but rather we became the funnel for that. At least that's what I was told. Plus, we'd have to hire additional teachers to do that ourselves, which again, could be done with the grant. But that's what I was told was the original reasoning, is that we would partner with some of the local pre-Ks. Those partnerships actually have really paid off in the sense that those not only those two that we partner with currently, but other pre-Ks that meet with us utilize some of the same curriculum that we do, like foundations and everyday math for pre-K. So the partnerships have resulted in a lot of really good things. The grant not only pays for them, but there's about around $10,000 or $11,000 of that grant that come directly to the district to offset the time that Kathy, myself, and Maureen put into the grant.
And the teachers are certified, correct, Mr.
Yes.
Dr. Dady? Yeah.
Correct, they are.
Okay, thank you.
And I think, if I'm not correct, I believe both of those facilities that we partner with are either 4 or 5-star facilities. That correct also, Mr. Dady? Got Dr. Dady?
Yeah, you have to even be part of pre-K, you have to be at least a 3-star. And I believe they both are 4-star now. And I believe the one, All Things Bright and Beautiful has been with us from the beginning. Our partnership when it first started was with them and with Moms. Moms has since been, at least locally, been bought out. Their facilities have been bought out by Your Guardian Angels. And but at the time of this grant, there were only 3 in our area that qualified, and they were Moms, All Things Bright and Beautiful, and Crossroads. Crossroads opted out of being in pre-K counts primarily because they'd have to move their religious instruction to a different part of the day. All Things Bright and Beautiful did that. Crossroads decided to opt out instead of doing that. And then, like I said, and then Your Guardian Angels took over much of Mom's facilities, and so our partnership shifted to them.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on miscellaneous? Okay, hearing no other questions, Mr. Enders, if you could take a roll call, please.
Mr. Becker,
Yes.
Mr. Berngard,
Yes.
Ms. Dobler,
Yes.
Mrs. Green,
Yes.
Mr. Kinley,
Yes.
Mrs. Petrosky,
Yes.
Mrs. Stemler,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
9-0.
Okay, old business, Mr. Brungard, you had something you wanted to discuss under old business?
Yeah, the truck quotes, I realize we're not getting one right now, but I did not see any local places that put in a bid for this truck. Is there a reason? They just did not respond or what? Like the local car dealers. They were all from out of the area.
The quotes we received, we did not do any type of formal bid pack on those. It was more of a little kind of mini investigation homework assignment that Mr. Wall did for us. If we would be purchasing the vehicle on a non-CoStars, at the dollar amount is at, we would have to do formal bid specs and a formal bid document in order to purchase that. We just did a non-scientific polling of some online websites that Mr. Wall had found that could quote a vehicle for that. So those were how those quotes are obtained. There was no formal bidding done or formal quoting done in any aspects. It was more just to kind of see where the market laid in relation to CoStars.
So in other words, they were just pulled off of a website somewhere of dealers.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question related to BIAA practice and stuff. I assume we're going to start practice on Monday, but have we done, or is this maybe a later discussion as far as fans attending football games and stuff? Has that been decided, or I'm getting a lot of questions on that? Did you get my question? Or is that something that needs to be thought about, or?
I think right now we're still subject to the governor's order on that, but the PIAA, the last I heard, was pushing back to have at least a minimum number of fans. I think that's the way it is. Is that, Dr. Ulmer?
Yeah. Well, right now, Craig, as you said, Mr. Allen, the guidance is no fans. PIAA has said they would like to have fans, but we're subject to the current order in place.
I think PIAA is trying to schedule another meeting with the governor to kind of work on his good judgment.
So in other words, right now, football, for example, has started practice as of today, right? So we're still up in the air as far as fans attending the first football game, whether it's visitors or home team, correct? From what I'm hearing. Okay. All right. Thank you.
And just to kind of tag team on Harry's questions, have we looked at whether we're able to live stream those for parents or relatives at home?
That is something that Serena Henry, our athletic director, is working on. We've had a couple vendors reach out to be able to make that possible. That is something we're trying to work on to make sure that our parents could still view, or grandparents or family members could still view events.
Thank you, Dr. Ulmer. Okay, we merged the courtesy of the floors. Do we have to have anything for another executive session?
I do not.
You're all right, Dr. Homer.
Okay, unless anyone else has anything else for the good of the order, we'll accept a motion to adjourn.
Before you do that, Mr. Allen, I don't believe you announced our previous executive session.
You're right, you're correct. Well, I did not. The board had an executive session at 6 o'clock this evening, prior to opening of our regular meeting. And that was for legal and personnel.
I'll make a motion to adjourn then, if nothing else.
Second, Mary.
Thank you.
Good night, all.
You all drive home safely.
Still daylight out, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, probably. I can't tell.
Thank
Good
you. Have a
night.
good one.
Night, everybody.
Mr.
Thank you.
Kinley, before you leave, can we solve your tech issues?
Sure.
Okay. Hold on, give us a second, make sure that we're off.
Do you need anybody else to stay on
We're gonna
for that?
solve his tech problems before he leaves.
That's just
Good.
Mr. Kinley and our IT friends, right? So the rest of us can go.
You're good.
Okay, thank you.
Night.
Good night.